Hey, True Believers, England Teen here with another episode of Comic Book Origins. This is where we take a look at the very first comic book appearance of any super villain, hero, or team, or even character. And in this case, we're looking at Captain Carrot. And why not? Let's just make it Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew. This is actually the very last original funny animal character that was created by DC Comics, created specifically by Roy Thomas and Scott Shaw in 1982. The original run ran for 20 issues with 6 issues still in the bag. Those were released as 3 double-sized comics called, the mistitled, by the way, Oz Wonderland Wars. There were no wars between Oz and Wonderland. What's that about? Anyway, let's dive into the very first appearance of Captain Carrot, which actually was just a little insert into Teen Titans number 16. Yeah, you want the first appearance of this awesome team? That's the book you gotta get. Which, by the way, I never really paid attention to what was going on with Starfire and all that. I always just kind of noticed the Captain Carrot insert. That's it. I mean, that seems to be what they're really selling here. It's like, forget about what's going on in the actual book with the people you want to read about here, guys. Here's this funny animal story you need to check out. And even though it is a 16-page insert, we get a splash page, which reads, "Not just another funny animal comic. It's Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew." And we even get a Justice League-like roll call of Captain Carrot, Pig Iron, Yankee Poodle, Rubber Duck, Alley Cadabra, and Fastback. And we see Superman banging on an invisible bear. Actually, it's not invisible. It kind of looks like cheese. "I must smash through the space barrier or the Earth is doomed. This bunny unbound." And we see Captain Carrot above a world that literally has the words, what was it? I can't even see that. It's too small. But anyway, Captain Carrot is saying, "Leap and lettuce, that horrible red and blue monster. It's got 5 fingers." And the story really starts, and I'm looking and going, holy crap, look at all the words. I know that's a weird thing to say before I start going over this, but honestly, you do not see this many words on a page these days. Holy Toledo and his brother. Okay, this time if I screw up reading this page, I'm just going, all right, you know what, screw it. Okay, so Clark Kent, he used to be a TV reporter for a while. All right, this is pre-crisis, and he notices people are acting like animals, and he notices Washington can't do anything about it, and he goes, "Well, this looks like a..." It doesn't even say that right there. I'm looking right at the words. I swear to God, this is the 4th freaking time I've tried to read this page. Okay, and he says, "And since neither Washington nor the UN seems to be able to get a handle on what's happening, that makes it a job for Superman." Yes! I made it through. You guys have no idea how many takes this took. So Superman decides, okay, I'll fly around until I see somebody affected, literally. And then he does. He sees this guy hit with a ray of light, and the dude jumps on the hood of a truck. The truck loses control, and Superman jumps down, stopping the truck, grabbing the guy with his other hand, says, "Got him," or should I say it? Dude, you should say him. Something's wrong with him, you insensitive freaking bastard. Look at the S on your chest and act like Superman for a little bit. What the heck's that all about? Should I say it? Come on, you elitist. Anyway, so the cop says, "Thanks, Superman." Another one of those loonies who thinks he's Clyde the orangutan. Okay, so you young people might not know this, but a long time ago there was a Clint Eastwood movie called Any Which Way But Loose, and it co-starred an orangutan named Clyde. There you go. References. It doesn't date your book at all, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, Superman says, "Yes, but only seconds ago he was a perfectly normal Joe crossing with a..." See, he's a guy, not an it. And the cops say, "Well, we'll take care of him. Isn't there anything you could do?" And Superman flies away going, "That's what I'm about to find out right now." So Superman takes to the skies until he sees this barrier that he didn't notice was there before, but as he approaches it, he becomes weaker. He notices a little meteor that breaks through. He can't break through the barrier himself, so he decides to throw the barrier and then grab on. I don't know how that works. That's catching, by the way. But so he figures the momentum of the meteor will take him through the barrier, and it does, but he kind of feels weird as he's passing through it, so he decides to let go so he can go it alone. But the meteor explodes, or at least it pops, breaking into a whole bunch of fragments. Superman tries to catch him, but he's blinded, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, my other senses let me have an autopilot." And we notice that America on this planet has United Species of America, but no other country has writing, so whatever. Anyway, Superman even though he's blinded, he finds the Daily Planet, throwing away one of the meteor fragments, thinking it would be kind of strange to have him holding it if somebody sees him. Blinded and sickly, Clark Kent makes his way through what he thinks is the Daily Planet, stepping out into a hallway. Now, why wasn't the closet small where he couldn't, actually stand up all the way? But he's finding he can't stand up. He makes it to his desk. He sits down and he goes, wait a second, I don't remember buying a cushion. And he hears, hey, watch it, Mac. What? Who said that? And we see, ladies and gentlemen, at least Captain Carrot in his civilian identity. I did, you overgrown gorilla. Clark Kent ends up getting a little surprised by what he sees. It's a rabbit, a talking rabbit, wearing glasses, even a tie. That explosion in space, it must have affected me somehow, so that's why I'm seeing things. And I kid you not, the rabbit says this, so you're seeing things, how about me, Roger Rabbit? Who knew? I mean, this is a few years before the movie there, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure about the book, but a few years before the movie. Anyway, he says that he's a cartoonist. He was working on just a lot of animals when he got sat on. And he's like, oh, wait a second, you're not a gorilla? And he begs the monster not to hurt him, but Clark Kent's already looking around with his X-ray vision, finding out, great Scott, he's on a planet of anthropomorphic animals. What's more, I'm in a city that newspaper down there says it's called New York, spelled G-N-U, and by the way, that is the humor that carries all throughout the 20 issues. It really, really likes the bad animal puns. That's mine. Let's get back to the story. Of course, somehow striking that... Excuse me, let me read that a little bit better. Of course, somehow striking that space barrier hurled me into an alternate Earth, one where all the inhabitants look like funny animals out of a Saturday morning cartoon. Huh? Funny animals? Hey, you don't show me much either, big boy. If you're not a monster, then who or what are you? I'll try to explain. If you're really a comic book artist, then you should be able to understand this better than most people. Writer and artist, Pinky, and don't you ever forget it. Just let me at my window box a second first, okay? Haven't had my morning carrot yet. Swiftly, Clark relates his story. So I staggered here and promptly sat down on you. Yeah, I noticed. Ever think of going on a diet? Actually, I can understand somebody actually parading around dressed up looking like a comic book superhero. Roger shows him that he has his own costume, and Superman says, well, you know what, I'll be Superman now. He goes, yay, you look like my character, Super Squirrel, and then tells Superman about how he saw a guy get hit by a ray of something and revert back to his canine prehistoric ancestors and begin barking and chasing cars. That's when Superman notices a piece of the meteorite that he threw in Captain Carrot's carrot box, his window box, and he smacks the carrot out of his hand, saying, whatever you do, don't eat any more of that glowing carrot. And we see Roger getting it glowing, and he's getting mad. He actually says, hey, I'm mad, and he hits Superman, making him fly through some walls. And here's something I noticed. He says, pardon me, but did anybody here see a big pink? And he called him Pinky earlier. Was that a racial slur? But Superman says, wait a second, the glowy carrot, that gave your haymaker a whole bunch of power. You're super now too, like your comic books. So Superman asks him if he's noticed any other changes, and he says, yeah, my hearing's gotten better. And he hears a distress call from the UN. UN? Yeah, United Nature. Maybe we oughta... And we see Superman fly away. Captain Carrot wants to join him, so he puts on his outfit, and when he does, where did all these muscles come from? Oh, well, details, and I like the fact if you look in the background, you'll see an aqueduct poster. Cool. And so we find that Roger Rabbit, or now Captain Carrot, catches up to Superman not by flying, but by hopping. That's what this entire page is about. It's about, hey, I can't fly, but I could jump. And they reach the UN, where they're supposed to be dealing with all the devolving animals, and Captain Carrot says, I could see it, I just can't see through it. But Superman can, and what he sees is that everything is devolved. Everybody's acting like they're animal ancestors, as they put it. And Captain Carrot's like, Caper and Cabbage, you're not just... Let me see if I can't get that voice back. Caper and Cabbage, you're not just whistling Dixie. You've got to stop them, Supermax. It's Superman, but just keep out of my way, okay, Roger? Even in my weakened state, I can still handle these reverts by myself. Huh? Don't patronize me, Pinky, you hear? I'm telling you, racists all over the place right here. And we see Captain Carrot running in. By the way, I've got a fancy secret identity now, too. Make room, everybody, for Captain Carrot. And we see a bull and an elephant pulling on Captain Carrot's ears. Huh? Picking on my ever-loving super sensitive ears, will you? Let's see if I can. And he slams them together by controlling the movement of his ears. Yep, I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. Good work, little fella. Those glowing carrots turned you into a real-life superhero, all right. That frees me to take care of this whole half of the chamber by literally pulling the rug out from under these poor race-struck unfortunates and wrapping them in it so they can't hurt themselves. But Captain Carrot stops Superman. I don't think I've made myself clear, Pinky. These are my people, and this is my world. If they need saving, Captain Carrot can handle the job. All I have to do is thump, put my foot down. So Superman admits that he underestimated Captain Carrot, and he says, I wonder if these powers of mine are permanent, or... Wait, listen, those TV monitors. And in 5 locations around the U.S., strange new heroes with superpowers have suddenly appeared as if out of nowhere. Huh? Are they talking about me? Correction, make that 6 superheroes with powers. While in Follywood, news hounds have witnessed the animal magnetism of the new Yankee Poodle. And in nearby Bel Air Dell, there's a malleable mallard who calls himself Rubber Duck. In the Midwest, there's a lightning-swift turtle called Fastback. In Pittsburgh, a porcine powerhouse known as Pig Iron. And in New Orleans, a slink sorceress named Alicadabra. Great, Krypton. Those are precisely the places where I saw the other 5 glowing meteorite fragments headed from outer space. Then those guys were changed, just like I was. Where's it all gonna end? So Superman looks down at him and says, on another world, that's where. Before I wound up here, I had already tracked the source of the devolution ray to the planet Pluto. So that's where I'm headed right now. The fate of 2 worlds may be at stake. Hey, Pinky, not so fast. You're not going anywhere without Captain Carrot. Then step on it, for it's a matter of life and death. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the very first appearance of Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew. In all honesty, it goes by pretty quickly. I saw all the words. I was like, man, this is going to be one wordy comic book, isn't it? But it flows. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time to be had. Yes, I got to tell you, the regular series does devolve. I don't know if it devolves or evolves or it just volves into a whole bunch of animal puns, but that is the central crux of the actual humor to the story. But it's thoroughly enjoyable. I was very entertained by this first appearance. I was lucky enough to pick up the Showcase Presents of Captain Carrot. Now, I used to own all of these issues anyway, but I picked that up and I read it recently. It is a fun freaking time. If you can find these comics, do so. It's very entertaining. The first issue, this first appearance in Teen Titans 16 just proves it, and it really does get better even as you get the rest of the team in on it, and there you go. Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew, first appearance, Teen Titans 16. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below, and as you're checking out one of these videos that are popping up right around you here, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell if you haven't done it already, making sure that your notifications are set to all. And if you like the channel, go on over to Patreon, Ko-Fi, or to our membership over at YouTube on I Love Comics and drop $1 in the till. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.